Greetings from South Korea. I am Arirang News AI anchor. Here's the news-making headlines today. Having wrapped up his state visit to Brazil, President Lee Jae-myung has landed in Chile, the second leg of his three-nation trip to South America. President Lee will go to the presidential palace on Thursday to meet with his Chilean counterpart Jose Antonio Kast, who took office in March. The leaders will attend an official welcoming ceremony, expanded talks in exchange of MOUs, a joint press conference, and lunch. Their key focus is modernizing the Korea-Chile Free Trade Agreement, which hasn't been updated since it went into effect in 2004 to reflect new areas, including digital trade and environmental cooperation. In the U.S., the Federal Reserve has left interest rates unchanged for a fifth straight meeting, choosing to wait for more clarity on inflation and a broader economic outlook despite renewed pressure from President Donald Trump to cut borrowing costs. At the end of its two-day Federal Open Market Committee meeting, the Fed voted 9-3 to keep its benchmark interest rate at a range of 3.5 to 3.75%. The decision leaves the interest rate gap between South Korea and the United States at as much as 1 percentage point. Speaking after the meeting, Fed Chair Kevin Warsh said the central bank remains firmly committed to its 2% inflation target, while describing the U.S. economy as showing impressive resilience despite recent shocks, including renewed fighting in the Iran war. Samsung Electronics on Thursday said its second quarter operating profit rose more than 1,800% from a year earlier, to 89.5 trillion won, or approximately $62.1 billion. Sales increased 130% to 171.5 trillion won. Its chip division posted 127.5 trillion won in sales and 89.2 trillion won in operating profit. Record DRAM and NAND sales drove another record quarterly performance following the first quarter. Samsung said it expects earnings growth to continue in the second half as semiconductor demand remains strong. North Korea-linked cyber operations stole more than $600 million in the first half of 2026, driving a record surge in cryptocurrency exploits worldwide. This is according to a new security report by the on-chain security platform Blockade. North Korea-related attacks accounted for 55% of all in the first half of the year. Globally overall, attackers drained $1.1 billion across 212 verified incidents in the first 6 months. While total financial losses are down from last year, the frequency of attacks is the highest on record for any half-year. The U.S. military has launched a new round of strikes against Iran. U.S. Central Command announced that the operation began at 8 p.m. Wednesday Eastern Time, describing it as a powerful response to Iran's attempted attacks on American forces in the Middle East a day earlier. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said it had fired several ballistic missiles at a U.S. airbase and a military center in Jordan. The U.S. military described it as an attempted surprise attack, saying all incoming missiles were intercepted. Following a brief lull, the resumption of attacks from both sides has derailed diplomatic momentum, casting doubt on efforts to revive the ceasefire. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.